is Mike Cummings, and this is the shark musculature identification lab. Okay, so first let's start off with the myomeres. Now, the myomeres are these orange large stripes. You might not see them, and they originate from the vertebral column. They inserted an integument, and there are also some myomeres in the necturus, so there are different muscles, and the same thing goes for the next three. The horizontal septum, The horizontal septum isn't really a muscle, it's just a big gap between muscles, so it doesn't originate or insert anything, and it doesn't really have a homology in necturus. Actually, it does. They do have a horizontal septum in necturus, but it's still different, whatever. Then the myoseptum, which is these little lines between the myomeres, and these are just lines that don't originate or insert in anything, but do have some myosepta also in necturus, but for the muscles themselves are identified. All right, then we have the apaxial muscles and the hypaxial muscles, and hold on. All right. Hold on a second. Those are a different name in the book. The apaxial muscles are these muscles, which are on the trunk. They are also called the dorsal-longitudinal bundle, and the hypaxial muscles are these. Are also called the lateral longitudinal bundle. So the apaxial muscles originate in the vertebral column, and they're inserted in the integument. And they function is to flex the spine. And the hypaxial muscles also. Oh, wait a minute. The hypaxial muscles originate in the vertebral column and also insert into the integument, and they're also serve spine. Now, the apaxial muscles are homologous to the dorsalis trunci in the necturus, and the hypaxial muscles is homologous to four different muscles in the necturus, which are the rectus abdominis, the external oblique, the internal oblique, and the transversus. And then we have the pectoral abductor or extensor. Now, we didn't remove the skin, but here's where the pectoral abductor or extensor would go here. It originates in the scapular process of the pectoral girdle, and it insertions in the pterygophores. And it is homologous to six muscles in the necturus, which I have listed right here. They are the triceps brachii, the dorsalis scapulae, the procoracal humerales, the latissimus dorsi, the forearm extensors, and the supracoracoides. And next we have the pectoral adductor or flexor. Now that is on the other side of the fin. You can kind of, not really, but it's at the coracoid bar. It originates at the coracoid bar of the pectoral girdle, is inserted in the pterygophores, and it is homologous to four muscles of the necturus, which are the pectoralis, coracobrachialis, humeroantebrachialis, and the forearm flexors. And then we have the pelvic fins. We have the pelvic abductor or extensor, and wait a minute. Okay, never mind. The pelvic abductor or extensor, which is the same thing as the pectoral muscles. They're on the back here. This is the Hold on. This is the pelvic abductor, and this is the pelvic adductor. So the pelvic abductor here originates from the scapular process of the iliac process of the pelvic girdle, inserted in the pterygophores, and is homologous to several hind limb abductor muscles in the necturus. Now, the pelvic adductor originates in the pubo-ischiac bar. It is inserted in the pterygophores, and it is homologous to several hind limb adductor muscles. Adductor, because this is an adductor. All right. Now we're going to go into the next part, which is branchiomeric musculature. That's on this side. So we have the levator palato quadrati, And the levator palato is actually on this side, and it is this muscle right here. That's the levator palato quadrati. It originates in the otic capsule, as it inserts into the palato quadrate, elevates, and is homologous to the adductor mandibularis at the end. Wait, hold on. Is it adductor mandibulae anterior and externus in the necturus? So, and then we have the spiracularis, which is a unique muscle. It's not homologous to anything. You can maybe see it here. It originates in the otic capsule. It is inserted in the palato quadrate, not related to homologous to anything in the necturus. Then we have the adductor mandibulae, which is homologous to the adductor mandibulae anterior and externus in the necturus, and the adductor mandibulae is in the Meckel's cartilage. So, and you can see it right here. That's the adductor mandibulae. It inserts from the. Originates in the adductor mandibulae originates in the palato quadrate, and it inserted into Meckel's cartilage. And it is homologous to the adductor mandibulae in necturus. The next is the preorbitalis, which we didn't remove, but it is below the eye right here, and it is homologous to the. It originates in the ventral chondrocranium. It inserted into the Meckel's cartilage, joining the adductor mandibulae, and it is homologous to the adductor mandibulae in the necturus. The next is the intermandibularis. Now we removed a lot of this, but a lot of it is still here. Here it is, the intermandibularis, right there. And hold on, I'm just taking my breath. And it is intermandibularis originates in the Meckel's cartilage, and it inserts in the midventral raphe, and it is homologous to the intermandibularis in the necturus. And the next is the levator hyomandibulae. Now, that's fine. And the levator hyomandibulae is near the mandible. It is right here. The levator hyomandibulae right there. Here it is. This is wait a minute. Yeah, that is the one. That's the hyador mandibulae. I mean the levator hyomandibulae. There it is, and originates in the otic capsule, is inserted into the hyomandibular cartilage, and it is homologous to the depressor mandibulae in necturus. The next one is the levator hyoidus, and the levator hyoidus is right here. Hold on. Levator hyoidus, is right here. Which is, actually, hold on a second. No, it's not. I made a mistake there. Levator hyoidus. Is that the same?
I don't think it's listed on.
Yeah, it's not. I think that's just, the levator hyoidus is just an extension of the levator hyomandibulae to the gill. So, see it on the, so you can see the levator hyomandibulae. So part of it also connects to the gills. That's the levator hyoidus. Connects, originates at the otic capsule, and it inserted into the hyomandibular cartilage, and it also connects to the gill pouches, but a little downward, I think. It's not quite a one you can really see. Next is the interhyoidus, which you can see, however, and because the interhyoidus is, wait a minute, dang it, there it is. The interhyoidus, that is because that's the one we uncovered the intermandibularis to see. So the interhyoidus is this one. That is the interhyoidus. And the interhyoidus originates in the cerebrohyoid and is inserted into the midventral raphe, and it is homologous with the interhyoidus and the sphincter coli of the necturus. Next is the cucullaris. The cucullaris is on the back of the thing, and here it is. There is the wait a minute. Do we see it? Oh, there it is. The cucullaris is this up here. It is far above the gill slits, and it is also connected to the fin. You can't really see it. There it is, and actually, no, it's this big thing, I believe. This is the cucullaris. That is what it is. And cucullaris originates the fascia of the pectoral muscles. Is inserted in the scapular process of the pectoral girdle, and is a homologous to the cucullaris and levitoris arcuum of the necurus. I'm not that good at speaking out of turn, so and next are the dorsal and ventral constrictors, and so let's start with the ventral constrictors on the side. Actually, let's start with the dorsal constrictors. These are the dorsal constrictors. You can't really see them, but they're under there, and they compress the gill pouches, and they originate and inserted at the raphe, and they are homologous to the branchohyoides of the necurus. And these ventral gill pouches, ventral constrictors down there, originate and insert into the raphe, and they also are homologous to the branchohyoides. And finally, we have the hypobranchiomusculature, which is also under the intermandibularis. And let's start with the coracomandibularis, which is this. You can kind of see this brown streak in the middle of the big orange stuff. That's the coracomandibularis, kind of a smaller muscle. And then we have the common coracoarcles, and the common coracoarcles are right here. Those are the... hold on. The coracomandibularis, they originate from the fascia of the coracoarcular muscle. They are inserted into Meckel's cartilage, and they are homologous to the geniohyoid in the necurus. And then we have the common coracoarcules themselves, and these are them, and they originate the coracoid bar, and they insert into the coracohyoid muscle, and they are homologous to the pectoris capillaris and rectus cervicus in the necurus. And then we have the coracohyoid, which is the last one, and the coracohyoid. Did I already? Wait a minute.
Yeah, that's the last one you're on.
Yeah, I made a mistake with the interhyoides. This is the interhyoides, and this is the coracohyoid. I made a mistake, but let me go over the interhyoides again. The interhyoides originates in the cerebral hyal and inserted in the middental raphe, and it is homologous to the depressor mandibulae. Now, the coracohyoid, this is the coracohyoid. It originates in the coracoarcular muscle. It is inserted in the basal hyal, and it is homologous to the rectus cervicus. And that's it.